The Homo sapien breed is rising forth, destined to withstand the epochs of time into its evolved nature of a greatness of a galactic system that continues to evolve throughout the history of our illusionary time. Whoa, the evolution of humanity is moving fast at a rapid course of nature, calling us all forth to evolve with this human structure of a galactic frequency that is so innate and intrinsic in our nature. Wow, evolution of our breed is cosmically aligned. Evolution has been a notion that has been throughout the decades, epochs, and eras throughout our human existence. And we see that from our inception, we have been on an evolutionary path of our human species. And so, as we go further into conceptualizing this evolutionary path, we ought to seek to define what itself evolution means in its very simple terms. Evolution is simply the development of something from simpler to complex. Now, as is in our human breed and our human species, we could go back to just understand the cosmic nature of the creation of our universe. And in fact, just our earthly home here. And we begin to go back to understand how far along have we come from inception. So as we begin to look at our historical perspectives that help us understand the evolution of our human existence, we go back in time where we see that over 6 million years ago, the human breed inception took a rapid course of evolution from going around to being Homocenes to about Paleocenes, which ended about 5.3 million years, then finally to Miocene, which ended about 12,000 years ago. So you may begin to ask, we as a human species, what is this significance of this evolutionary path that we have set forth? And as we could all conceptualize in this era and epoch of time, we have been noted to be gradually evolved to simple Homo sapiens. Now, there have been many studies that have went back and looked to see what had conceptualized our human form. And many have noted that, just like our fellow counterparts of the animal species, we have gone on a rapid path of evolution to, come into a human nature and human common form, by having this rapid evolution from species, we often hear that we're, like counterparts of the ape system, like we could see that on a physical form nature. We, of course, we may look alike. But the evolution that I want to focus on is, yes, to show you the depiction of where we come from in our form and the scientific notions that have tried to conceptualize who we are as a human breed. We begin to see that from the very Big Bang Theory and the conceptualization of understanding this cosmic universe, we begin to see that we are pure states of consciousness Now, by that I mean, without this physical, this form, this carbon, all this gaseous matter that makes us up, hydrogen, helium, just like the fellow, you know, planetary systems that we have, we begin to see that we are of, in fact, an ethereal presence. By that I mean, something that's outwardly and has no form. In fact, before we were all materialized into existence, we begin to see that we were of more or less crystalline nature, just out there in this cosmic universe, being conceptualized on this earth. And what we are now transforming into is to seeing that, yes, we have gone through many evolutionary periods and epochs of time, but our greatest evolution has to start from within. And to further shed light on this evolutionary path, we are now being taken on a rapid course of evolution, and to begin to see that evolution, in fact, is our greatest calling on earth. Now, you may try to go into, as we have always looked outside of ourselves, this physical nature, and, have just put it so much at a high standard when it comes to evolution, who we are, what makes us up, the components, the chemical components of our body, and what we see on the outer appearance. But as we go forth and see that evolution being our greatest calling on us, is to see that we have to start from within. We have to start from this consciousness field that exists within us. You see, as we go into this cosmic nature that we all came from, we are now being able to go forth to our deepest calling on earth. To see that as we go forth into this new golden age era, we are being called to simply restructure all our divine bodies. Now, in order for us to greatly evolve in our physical vessel into our most intrinsic nature, we have to start, of course, with our consciousness field, our ethereal body vessels. And by that I mean, as I've shed light on that, our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Now, as an evolved breed, are you telling yourself that, wow, in order for me to be in my best physical shape and form and continue to evolve, not just with my fellow human counterparts, but with Mother Earth, with Mother Gaia, and the cosmic structures, galactic systems that exist within us, into a higher dimensional frequency? Where does this all begin? Now, as we are seeing that we have been slowly transitioning from this age of Pisces, which depicts a whole era of healing and just, going into the deepest depths of our soul, to say that, wow, we have spent many different incarnations coming into our physical vessels to go forth and just go through our deep depths and soul lessons, to say, in this lifetime I experienced, great trauma, and I've come back to heal. But this is a pivotal time where we are cosmically aligning with the Earth and the other system, the other galaxies are calling us forth to evolve. And as we go forth into higher states of consciousness and elevation, we have to continue to work on our evolutionary bodies. And by that I mean going deep down into the character field of your materialness in this world, What is it that you are truly here to go forth and become in this incarnation? Is it just about connecting to just material forms of yourself? Of course, being awake and alive in this incarnation, you realize that you do have to have everything that's surrounding us in this physical state has to have this material form. As we see, we've gone from different breeds, different species, different levels in our human incarnation, and we've connected it to, our fellow animal counterparts. Even our plant kingdom and our plant life have evolved over time, but it's to now show you that, wow, your greatest calling and evolution has to start from within, because the earth is shifting in her divine dimensional frequencies, and she's rising forth. I know we've lived in this three-dimensional world that have expected us to coexist in lower dimensional frequencies of just, as I've said, the age of Pisces, an age where we're healing and we're seeing just a lot of pain and trauma. We have to, of course, evolve now with our cosmic systems around us, including Mother Earth, to see that, wow, we are being aligned to go into the high dimensional frequencies. And for example, I give you a greatest example of just becoming our greatest versions of ourselves by expressing the greatest depiction of love, expressing the greatest higher dimensional frequencies of just harmony and unity, instead of always having to normalize these lower dimensional frequencies of just, anger and hate and just, one-man upsmanship, in this world, a competitive nature, just focusing on the external material world and the business, the markets, and the structures that have formulated us in this world. We are beginning to see that greatest calling is to evolve. And we could go back to many philosophical explanations, such as Charles Darwin, who, studied the state of evolution and tried to even understand that we as a human breed, what allows us to evolve. And of course, we see that in our state of evolution, we of course have just gone at a rapid stage, and even termed it survival of the fittest, to say that, wow, person who can more easily adapt to the nature surrounding us are the ones that's going to continue to evolve. But we see that many have survived, in this cosmic universe, but we are here to continue to evolve as one with each other, plant, animal, human species, and to see that it's to totally create our greatest divine cosmic alignment here on earth. So go forth and continue to evolve and truly work from within to conceptualize and materialize the material world that we're all here to build. So you are divinely ordained to cosmically align with all the divine features that surround us on this planet and in the multi-universe. So continue to work from within and see that your greatest calling here on earth is to evolve. Shine on, my fellow human counterparts. So continue to evolve as you know that each and every moment you are being cosmically aligned to evolve in your greatest version of your cosmic nature.